Well, the bishops now went after him and said, that's not enough. We want Christianity to be the official religion of the Roman Empire. And then, of course, the discussion began and the debates began. The Emperor Constantine said to them, all right, you know, if you want Christianity to be the religion of the Roman Empire officially, you'll have to define it and tell me what it is. And so the debate began, and he called a council of all the bishops of the Christian churches in the city of Nicaea, which is not far from Constantinople. By the way, he had moved the capital from Rome, Italy, to Constantinople and called it New Rome. Later it was called Constantinople in his honor. At the Council of Nicaea, 325, the Council of Nicaea, there was a fierce debate. The bishops debated, what is the meaning of Christianity? And it's amazing to see how many different definitions there were as to the meaning of Christianity. What is the meaning of Father, creator of heaven and earth? I can understand that. The Holy Spirit that inspires, well, we can understand that. The Son. What's the meaning of Jesus? There you have a problem that convulsed the church in the early period and still is a problem to many today. Is Jesus the incarnation of God? Did God become a human being when Jesus was born? Or was Jesus just a benevolent prophet who was trying to teach good things? There's a very serious difference of opinion. And it turns out that there were about 60 or 80 different churches, each one with a different understanding of what Christianity means. Because Christianity is very difficult. Tertullian was one of these early church teachers, and they said to him, but you see, Christianity is so illogical. God could become human and then still remain God and then be resurrected from the dead. There's too much illogic about it. So Tertullian said, because it's illogical, I believe, have faith, and all will be solved. Some of them said, no, we can't accept that. Some of them said, no, Jesus was an apparition. I mean, we saw this man, and he may have been divine, but he wasn't human. Others say, yeah, he was human, but he wasn't divine. Some people can't accept that. A lot of them couldn't accept the virgin birth. I mean, this is also part of the Trinitarian doctrine. Now, this is just by way of introducing the conflicts that existed in Christianity at the time. So, they came to him, you know, a jury comes to the judge and says, we haven't reached a verdict. So Constantine said, go back into council and come up with a verdict. Finally, they voted, and they came up with a definition of Christianity. Now, the verdict was a majority verdict. There was no unanimity. We know that there was no unanimity. There was a majority opinion. What they came up with is what we call the trinitarian doctrine of Christianity. And that became Catholic Christianity, or what we call universal Christianity, was defined as such. It became what we call Orthodox Christianity. And of course, Catholic and Orthodox are the same. At that time, there was no difference between them. Later on, things happened and they split. But even when they split, there was no theological difference, significant theological difference between them. Now, what does the Trinitarian doctrine mean? It says, we believe in God the Father, creator of heaven and earth and of everything in the universe, we've seen and unseen. We believe in Jesus Christ, the only begotten Son of God the Father, who was incarnated and lived on earth, suffered, and was executed and crucified under Pontius Pilate, died, went to hell, and on the third day rose and sits at the right hand of his Father in heaven. And we believe in the Holy Spirit. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But the Son has to be defined in certain ways. In any event, this was the agreement that was reached by the Council of Nicaea. It was the majority agreement. Once they voted on that, and they defined it and wrote out the definition of the creed of Christianity, they presented it to the Emperor Constantine. He said, okay, this is what I will accept and declare to be the official religion of the Roman Empire. The point being that as soon as the council was over, those bishops who were dissident, who didn't agree with the majority of the council, they cursed the council and they went back home and they continued their non-Orthodox and non-Catholic Christianity. And these differences continued for centuries. Christianity was not united, but what the Emperor Constantine did was to accept the definition of the majority of the Council of Nicaea, and that became the official religion of the Roman Empire. And it was called Catholic Christianity, and defined as belief in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And it was also incorporated into the Roman Constitution. Once the Council of Nicaea was over, and that was accepted, and there were dissident churches, one of the bishops, a man by the name of Arius, went back to Western Europe, Spain and France, where he continued to preach his non-Catholic Christianity, and he had hundreds of thousands of followers. The bishops of Syria quit and went their own way. The bishops of Egypt didn't even want to attend the council. They said the Greeks and the Romans are going to control everything. We don't want to have anything to do with them. So they had their own church. By the way, they have their own pope. The Coptic Church has its own pope, but Catholic Christianity was adopted and became the official religion of the Roman Empire. Now, that also had to gain power eventually until it became established over wide areas of the Roman Empire, both in the eastern part, which is where the capital was in Constantinople, and which was predominantly Greek-speaking, and in the western part, which was Rome, Italy, and France, and Germany, and Spain, and Portugal, which was Latin-speaking. So you had the Latin-speaking half and the Greek-speaking half of the Christian world now spread over all of Europe.